Hello everybody, this is Peter the Rock. It's Sunday the 5th of May and I'm looking at something I've never seen before. Most extraordinary collection of metal boxes atop this green pole, and I can only imagine that they are there for birds to nest in. It's very unusual and but a good thing. The more places for birds to nest in, the better. Now, I'm just off the main street. I wonder if any of you recognise this yet. Possibly not. But I'm in Ruislip, which I haven't been to for quite a long time, and not at all on YouTube. So we're going to have a quick look round some of the features before I head up to Ruislip Lido. I've heard, first of all, let me explain that it's pronounced Ruislip. I heard some people on the tube once call it Ruislip, which is completely wrong. Anyway, this strange box, sort of nesting box, is atop a pole outside a cemetery graveyard, which I'm going to have a quick look at, which belongs to St Martin's Church and Hall. And there's the notice board, and it just says all the sort of standard stuff. Lunchtime concerts of classical music, admission free, Wednesdays in 2024. And for example, on the 29th of May, there's a Kalashnikov piano. That's interesting. There used to be a very famous chess player called Kalashnikov who gave his name to an opening, and he's going to play J.S. Bach, Liszt and Chopin, not all at the same time, and I hope he wins. So there you are. If you're seeing this before the 29th of May, you could come along to that. Anyway, Kalashnikov opening is quite a dramatic opening in chess. For those of you who play chess will know all about it. Here is the graveyard cemetery, and immediately I come across a wreath with the green and the orange colours of Ireland just there, which is nice. Not many other wreaths around. I get the impression this is an old, well, all graveyards are old, but it's been here for quite a long time, and most of the graves are quite old. So let's see if we can find a fairly recent one. It's a bit of a strange thing for me to say, or a very old one. Trouble with very old ones is, of course, you can't read the writing. Anyway, as luck would have it, straight ahead of me there is, I think it's a giant redwood. Isn't that fantastic? But it's a baby. It's only been there a few years, but it's a characteristically red wood, and that'll grow to be something enormous, perhaps to the detriment of this chap buried here, Anthony John Cook, who died February the 17th, 1934, aged 5 years. Oh, that's very sad. It's very sad when there's a child died. But next to him is in loving memory of Lucy Saunders, eldest daughter of G.M. Saunders, who passed away 28th of September 1928. She is not dead, but sleepeth. That's one thing I've discovered recently. One of the great tragedies of bereavement is that it's often really quite difficult to let go. I'm not bereaved, but I've got friends and contacts who have been, and you don't really almost want to admit that the person has gone, and this can last for quite a while. I'm not a psychologist. But you can almost take pleasure in thinking the person is still there. I'm sure we all do this, perhaps with our parents or grandparents, and perhaps they are. Anyway, it's a whole science of which I know almost nothing. To the dearly loved memory, getting all poetic now, Frederick William Craddock. I like that Frederick, who died September the 10th, 1931, aged 43. The Lord bless and keep thee and give thee peace. Yeah, so that's a traditional. There's a lot of the and Frederick. You know, not Fred. Um, Now, as in every graveyard, you'll find gravestones in pink granite. My theory is that it's longer lasting, but of course it's harder to carve into, so therefore harder to read. Swings and roundabouts. Um, that's my opinion. I'm not going to linger here, folks. It's all right. I haven't got a morbid curiosity. I've just got a curiosity in morbid people. So let's see if there's anything particularly striking as we walk down between the graves. The graveyard is very nicely kept. It's a rectangular, ordered graveyard. Ah, here's an interesting one. In loving memory of Major John Thomas Bewes, MBE RASC. Died 3rd of February 1958, aged 72. Beloved husband of Gladys Bewes, who died 37 years later, aged 96, together again. Beloved parents of John Gordon Bewes. So there were two Johns, and his beloved wife Margaret Sutherland died 1983, and most tragically of all, Paul Ernest Bewes, drowned 16th of April 1945, aged 9 years. Isn't that tragic? And his parents would have been still alive then. They are gone but not forgotten, never shall their memory fade. Sweetest thoughts shall ever linger around the space where they are laid. Poetry there. A Celtic cross just in front of a sea of blue, white flowers and yellow flowers. It's rather pleasant. I think that might be about it for today in this graveyard. I don't know much about it. I don't know if there's anybody famous here. The chances of me finding anybody that you've heard of are almost zero. Here is a Celtic cross, perhaps the biggest gravestone in the whole graveyard, if I can read this. In loving memory of Susanna Gray, born April the 11th, 1823, entered into rest March 24th, 1913, it could be, widow of Mr. Peter Gray, etc. There we are. Now I'm going on to Ruislip Castle. Yes, there is a castle, folks. Thanks a lot for watching. It's Peter the Rock. It's Sunday the 5th of May, 5/5. Cheers. Like and subscribe.